What's going on, everybody, and welcome to episode 74 of the Game Room Podcast. I'm your host, Rome, alongside Dev.
Yep, I'm here.
You're here?
Yep.
What's going on, Dev?
I'm tired.
Tired.
Yeah,
Tired
as always.
Yeah. You know what? I'm tired of some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about today, too. So, it all works out.
Oh, great.
But, of course, again, this is the Game Room Podcast, where each and every week we go through all of the topics of the past week, the headlines, get you guys caught up and ready to tackle this week in gaming. Big show today. Again, stuff I don't want to talk about, but we're going to be talking about it anyway. We're going to be talking about a big Xbox game getting announced for PlayStation. So that's something.
Yeah.
We're also going to be talking about Tango Gameworks being saved, the Borderlands movie flopping, and Microsoft is looking into relicensing Marvel games, Marvel Activision games.
That's cool.
So let's just get right into it. Number one, the headlines. So, number one is, as I said, rumors came out last week about an Xbox game, a big Xbox game coming to PS5, or at least getting announced for PS5 this week at Gamescom.
Yeah.
Because it is Gamescom this week. So next week we're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about. But, so basically what happened is that on Reset Era, the forums, user Nate Drake and Shinobi have both, they said that Xbox has a new port coming out soon. It's going to be announced. And then noted leaker X1 dropped a Cinco de Mayo GIF, leading many to believe that it was going to be Forza Horizon 5 because that takes place in Mexico.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But Jez Corden from Windows Central did some digging and said, no, it is not Forza Horizon 5, but he was still trying to figure out what game it was going to be. And that was going to be pretty much what we were going to talk about today, and that was going to be it, except right before we went live, maybe like an hour or two ago, Nate the Hate, who is a known leaker, we've talked about him, here on the show, he just kind of came out with it. So, according to Nate the Hate, he says, Machine Games' Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will release on Xbox and PC this holiday, December, as a timed console exclusive. After this timed exclusive window expires, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is planned to come to PlayStation 5 in the first half of 2025. According to insider gaming sources, some outlets have already been given the heads up on the news and have signed NDAs, but it's currently unclear on if the information will be announced at Tuesday's opening night live. Now, we do know that the Xbox version will be at the show tomorrow, Jeff Keighley's European E3.
Yeah.
German E3, whatever you want to call it, the Key 3 in Germany.
Yeah.
We know that we're going to get a release date, and we know it's going to be there. Release date for Xbox. One would assume that they're going to announce it for PlayStation tomorrow as well, based off of the track record of the leakers obviously involved. How do you feel about this?
I'm not surprised. When I first read it, I didn't know it was timed. Mm-hmm. So yeah, a timed exclusive for this, it makes perfect sense. I have a feeling that a lot of Xbox exclusives are going to be timed exclusives. I'm more surprised that it's only going to be. This game comes out when?
So we're gonna find the release date tomorrow, but okay. It's pretty much it's
Christmas.
Believed December is when we're gonna see this game.
So I'm more surprised that it's like a 6-month timed thing. I thought it'd be I thought it'd be a year at least, but I'm the way that Microsoft has been moving, Xbox has been moving, I'm not really surprised. Not too much.
I would say surprised, no. Disappointed, so I was on Ty's podcast yesterday. And we were just kind of talking about it yesterday as well, and it's just disheartening to see the brand. Obviously, in a world where both competitors in the console sphere, Xbox and PlayStation, are doing the same thing, it's kind of a different story. But it is really kind of disheartening as an Xbox fan, Xbox customer, where it's there are a lot of people, Ty included, who I've talked to, who are this is my last Xbox. I'm not getting another Xbox. I'm going to get the PS6 next time around. Because why would I not get the box that has the PlayStation exclusives, and then the Xbox first party will come anyway?
Yeah.
And so Xbox is planning on, having like Steam integration on their next console. I feel really confident about that. And so that could be their way around it, where next generation, like, it's a different ball game, where it's like, hey, if you have, you get Steam on the Xbox, you download God of War on Steam,
Yeah.
and then you have God of War on the Xbox. And that'll change it. But the problem is we're not there yet. We're here today,
Yeah.
and it doesn't help perception. I mean, I say it all the time. Perception is just so important. And I can't get behind this. Like you said, the fact that it's not even a year release, like, window, like, where it's a year away
Yeah.
from, like, a year exclusivity, I just think that's absurd. And it's a shame that Xbox fans, Xbox gamers, Xbox customers, like, look, I get it, you're saving money on Game Pass, but, like, you gotta at some point start to think, like, man, just feel like a secondary citizen at this point. Where it's just like, man, enough.
Yeah.
And, like, it's just disheartening because they've had, like, if you take all this bullshit out of the news, they've had such a good year. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, their E3 was, like, the best one that I think we've seen in a long time. Definitely the best one from Xbox specifically. A lot of their showcase has been good. Like, so there's great games coming this year. Like, it's just really disheartening. It's just really disheartening, and it really makes me it makes you regret. Like, I really do wish that Xbox hadn't won the cases to get Activision. Like, I kind of would have preferred to see how that timeline would have shaken out.
Really?
Kind of, because it's just like, I said it today when I was talking to Ty. Play a video, damn it. He says play
sorry,
a video.
Ty.
I just think that, like, they lost their competitive edge when they got Activision. Like, yes, their games are still coming out from their studios, but, like, there's just something about them that's just like, it's like, I feel like I'm watching, instead of watching a football team playing in the regular season, I feel like I'm watching a football team playing preseason, where it's just like, they don't care. They're gonna put out Call of Duty. It's like,
I do feel like I want to give Xbox a chance because I do feel like it's still early, but they are. Until that Xbox comes out with the Steam integration, right now it looks like Xbox is becoming a publisher studio.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't know if, like, I still like them having their own console. I think, again, competition is great. We need competition, especially in this industry. But right now it just looks like they're kind of bowing out of the console game. I mean, with the whole, like, hey, play Game Pass on this dongle with the Fire Stick. And, like, it just, everything about it just seems like, oh, we're just becoming a publisher. And it, this is just another proof to that.
Yeah, I mean... And
again, it's still early. They just got Activision. They don't even have all the Activision games on Game Pass yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though. Like there's a clear lack of, like, they've just lost their competitive edge.
No, I don't think they're being lazy on it. I think they're trying. I think the price scale is going.
Activision for a year. And
yeah, but I don't think it's just.
They're finally on Game Pass.
I get it. I just don't think it's as easy as, like, a flick of the switch to put those games on Game Pass. I think there's something.
I can sympathize, but again, we're a year out. Like, we're almost a year.
But to me, a year is not that long, honestly.
They bought Bethesda. They had all the Bethesda games within, like, a couple months.
Yeah.
Like a month or two.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I get it. It's not a simple flick of a switch, but you got to think that there's something going on there where it's just like, I don't know, they've lost their competitive edge. Like, they don't see a need to compete with PlayStation anymore. And, like, and that's going to hurt everybody. That's going to hurt Xbox. It's going to hurt PlayStation. Like, again, like, this isn't, I'm not a console war guy, right? Like, I want PlayStation to really, like, produce and compete with Xbox. I want Xbox to compete right back. But I just think like, it hurts competition all around. Ty says the next Xbox will allow other platforms on its box. Yeah, Ty, we were talking about that before you got here. I was talking about how I think you're going to see Steam on the next Xbox. You're going to see maybe Epic Game Store on the next Xbox. And that'll change the situation. But the problem is we're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
And the perception right now is that Xbox doesn't care. That they're going to put all their games on PlayStation eventually. And, like Dev, I'll ask you, what would you rather have? And if you say Xbox, like, that's fine. But, like, so you have Game Pass, right? It's like, hey, here's Game Pass. And you're going to get all of Xbox's first-party games on Game Pass. You're going to save a lot of money, right? Or you buy a PlayStation and you get all of the opportunity to buy all of those Xbox games and all of the PlayStation games and all the third-party games.
Yeah, I mean, right now, it's like, it sounds like an easy decision. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
I would rather go PlayStation, but...
And look, like, I am a going down with the ship Xbox guy. Like I've decided it. Like we've talked about it. Like both on camera, off camera over this past year. It's like I've spent too much money, too much time in that ecosystem. Where it's like I'm gonna keep supporting it until it's not a thing anymore. So like for me, it's like I'm gonna be there day one for the next Xbox console because that's just what I am. It's what I do.
Yeah, yeah.
It's how I consume my games, and I'm going to be there, and hopefully it works out. But I if someone said to me like Ty said yesterday, he's like, I'm probably not getting the next Xbox, but I am gonna get the next PlayStation. I don't blame him. Like what? Like I have nothing to say. Like I don't have any type of comeback on that. It's just like I mean maybe like hey like the Steam integration next year or next generation will change things, but again, we're just not there yet.
No, we're not.
So that's what's going on with Indiana Jones. I guarantee, within the next 24 hours, we're gonna know the release date, and we're gonna know what I feel like we're gonna know the PlayStation announcement as well. But that's what's going on with that.
Yeah.
Number 2 in the headlines, more some good news, but not because of Xbox.
Yeah.
Crafton from PUBG
Yeah.
has bought Tango GameWorks and the Hi-Fi Rush IP from Xbox. The following is a press release from Crafton. Crafton Inc. today welcomed the talented people of Tango GameWorks to their team, making an exciting moment in the company's global expansion and its first significant investment in the Japanese video game market. Investment in the Japanese video game market. That's a really smart idea for a developer like Tango GameWorks. The strategic move will include the rights to Tango GameWorks' acclaimed IP Hi-Fi Rush, but none of the other ones. Just people were wondering. It's not like The Evil Within or anything like it's just Hi-Fi Rush.
I didn't know that. I put up Ghostwire Tokyo.
Oh yeah, no,
because I was really excited for that.
The rights to the IP still to Ghostwire Tokyo.
Damn.
Which is very interesting. It makes you think that they're gonna make one eventually because it's like they didn't sell the rights to that IP.
No,
right?
I did not know that.
Isn't that weird?
That is very weird.
It's just Hi-Fi Rush.
All right.
That's the only IP that Tango GameWorks.
I'm not changing the B-roll. You guys got to watch some more Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah, Deborah really likes that game.
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush, a flagship title for Tango, is a rhythm action combat game. We know about Hi-Fi Rush, obviously. Go play it. As part of this strategic agreement, Crafton intends to collaborate with Xbox and ZeniMax to ensure a smooth transition and maintain continuity at Tango, allowing the talented team to continue developing the Hi-Fi Rush IP and explore future projects. Crafton intends to support Tango GameWorks team to continue its commitment to innovation and delivering fresh and exciting experiences for fans. There will be no impact on the existing game catalog of Evil Within, Evil Within 2, Ghostwire Tokyo, and the original Hi-Fi Rush game. They will remain available everywhere that they are today, so they're going to remain on Game Pass and stuff like that. This integration reinforces Crafton's dedication to expanding its global footprint and enhancing its portfolio with innovative and high-quality content. The addition of Tango GameWorks represents a strategic alignment with Crafton's mission to push the boundaries of interactive entertainment. John Johannes from the studio says, and this is how it continues. We're back, baby.
At least they sound excited about it. It doesn't sound exciting. But
why does that excite you?
It's just like, oh, you get this, and like we're still. It feels like the Toys with Bob thing. It's like I don't understand it, but okay, like.
So I mean, yeah, I think it is kind of weird because the way I read that, and I could end up being 100% wrong, but like when they say like, hey, we're gonna still collaborate with Xbox and ZeniMax, like, so does that mean like Hi-Fi Rush 2 is going to still gonna, like, is it gonna be like the Toys for Bob situation where like, hey, Toys for Bob is making a game for Xbox now?
That's what it sounds like a little
So
bit.
like, is Hi-Fi Rush 2 going to still be touted as like an Xbox game?
And even if
it's gonna be everywhere.
Even if it's Hi-Fi Rush 2 only, it says they want to keep the relationship open to work on future projects. So like,
so maybe they do go back to like, Ghostwire.
It's really weird. I don't know. It sounds good right now. We'll have to just wait and see, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a good story. People aren't losing their jobs, and they're going to continue to work on the IP that brought them success. So, I'm happy with it. Number 3 on the headlines. Xbox is trying to relicense Deadpool and Marvel Ultimate Alliance, it's claimed. A new rumor claims that Xbox is trying to relicense Deadpool and Marvel Ultimate Alliance. In the latest episode of the Xbox Era podcast, Special Nick revealed some details about Deadpool and Marvel Ultimate Alliance. According to rumors, Nick claims that Xbox is trying to work through the process of getting the Xbox One ports of Deadpool and Marvel Ultimate Alliance relicensed for PC and Xbox Series consoles. Activision released the Deadpool game in 2013 for 360, Xbox One, PS3, and PS4, but it was delisted in 2014 when the publisher's Marvel license expired. Similarly, Marvel Ultimate Alliance was also removed due to license expiration. Because of this, many players have never had the chance to play these games. Buying a physical copy is not always ideal, says Insider Gaming. I think it's definitely the way to go, personally. Prices can be high. Actually, that is something now that the Xbox 360 store is closed. The 360 prices
are going up.
Yeah, they're jacking up. Regardless, this is just a rumor for now. We have to wait till we get an official announcement to know for sure. Deborah, I think Xbox really missed the boat on getting Deadpool on Game Pass. And this is kind of also what I'm saying, where it's like, you knew Deadpool Wolverine was coming out in July. When you buy Activision, this seems like something that should be like, all right, let's figure this out. Let's get this out the door. Maybe we get it all situated in time for Deadpool to come out around the time of the movie.
Yeah.
And it's just like, again, I just think Xbox really lost its competitive edge, where it's like, this seems like a no-brainer decision that should have been done a year ago.
It does seem like at least this game. Like, oh, this movie's coming out. I know it's gonna be big. Or even the movie came out and it's big. Let's put this game out there.
And
you know
clearly,
what I mean?
there's willing for Marvel to work with Xbox because we saw with the Xbox Deadpool and Wolverine controllers that came out.
Yeah.
So clearly, there's an opportunity to do some work there and make some money there. You would think someone at Xbox would be like, hey, maybe we should try to get this license sorted out.
Yeah.
Even if it's for like 6 months, a year, something. But instead, alas, no. It did not happen. But maybe these games will eventually make their way to Xbox. We'll have to keep an eye on that story. I'll tell you what we're not going to keep an eye on, Deborah.
I don't know.
Number 4 in the headlines. The Borderlands movie came out while we were gone this past week.
Yeah.
I actually have an up. Okay, yeah. So let's talk about the opening weekend first, Deborah. Surely a hot IP like Borderlands did really well, right?
I love this franchise so much, and this hurts.
According to a new report by Variety, the anticipated live-action Borderlands film adaptation earned just $16.5 million globally, not domestically, globally, during its opening weekend. These earnings fare poorly against the film's reported budget of $115 million. Variety also mentions that the marketing and distribution costs ran another $30 million. Citing studio sources, Variety mentions that nearly 60% of production costs for Borderlands were covered by international pre-sales. However, the Borderlands movie fell behind expectations. The movie was not well received. We're going to talk a little bit more about the reception in a little bit. So that's how the film did opening weekend. Do you think it did any better this past weekend?
No, it probably did worse.
According to GameSpot, Borderlands movie had a very bad first weekend in theaters, which we just talked about, and the second weekend had low numbers as well. Of course, most movies drop off in the weeks after release, so this was always expected for Borderlands. But it's looking like another 2024 major flop. Kind of like Madam Web, says GameSpot. Borderlands earned $2.4 million in North America this past weekend. $2 million. That's it. Finishing number 9 for the weekend, beating only the Hindi horror comedy Stree 2. I don't know what Stree 2 is.
I don't know what that is.
I have never heard of this. But Borderlands beat it. So Stree 2 brought in $2.2 million. So Borderlands only brought in $0.2 million more than this Stree 2.
Man. Like, visually, it looks great. It's just...
I don't think it looks great.
I think visually it looks great.
The casting and the writing and just... I didn't see this movie, but everything the critics said about this movie was exactly watching the trailers. I'm like, this casting is fucking terrible. This movie looks soulless. Like, I can't believe that Randy Pitchford actually, the guy that, runs the franchise of the games, actually had a hand in this movie. Which there is a point that my next article brings up, and we'll get to it when we get there.
I know he's taking it well.
Oh, he's blocking everybody on Twitter. He's blocking everyone that didn't like the movie on Twitter, which I think is just the most childish thing. I know Ty disagrees with that take, but I think it's bro, you made art. People are allowed to consume your art and critique your art. That's how this works. That's how the cycle works.
Yeah.
And he's just blocking people.
That's funny.
it's really like it's really a fragile thing. Like he's gonna block us. He's gonna. If he ever finds this podcast, he'd be like, "These fucking guys."
You didn't even watch it.
You didn't even watch it. So let's see here. The odds of a Borderlands movie sequel happening would seem to be extremely thin, given the critical and commercial response to the film. Strauss Zelnick, though, the head of Gearbox owner Take-Two, and a former movie executive himself, urged people to give the film a chance. Deborah, will you be giving Borderlands a chance?
I mean, if it comes to streaming, I'll watch it, but...
Well, I have great news for you. I don't know if you saw that. It was really good. The Borderlands movie is heading to streaming in 11 days. This movie came out, like, we did our last podcast, right? And then the movie came out.
Yeah.
Like, obviously I wasn't here last week because I was on vacation, so, like, we didn't do a podcast last week. But, like, we're talking, like, between episodes of our podcast, this movie came out and is now going to streaming. The following comes from Paul Tassi at Forbes. While it is certainly par for the course for many Hollywood movies to rush themselves to home release on streaming services within a month or two, Borderlands is doing close to an all-time speed run. The massive box office miss will be headed to digital platforms on August 30th, 11 days from today, and just 3 weeks after it released in theaters on August 9th. This doesn't mean it will be streaming on a specific service for free. It's just going to be available for digital purchase and rental on August 30th in places like Amazon Prime Video or Apple TV. It will make its way to being on an actual service later, but not yet. Lionsgate movies stream a lot of places, so, it'll probably end up somewhere eventually. Borderlands remains one of the worst reviewed major movies of the year, with a 10% critic score, which also puts it around the bottom 10 of all video game movie adaptations in history. Damn. This was not offset by a mass surge of fan support from gamers, and in 2 weekends now, the film has only made $18 million worldwide, on a budget north of $120 million, and marketing costs on top of that. As it stands, they're probably going to lose $100 million. Hold on, Ty in the chat says, it didn't do well because all you haters refused to watch it. Borderlands fans are hard to please, just like Star Wars fans. You should be all ashamed. I'll be ashamed.
It's not even that we're hard to please. You can't... You cast Kevin Hart and Kate Blanchett
as Roland.
You as Roland and what's her name?
Lilith. That was terrible.
And you think that's okay? You think we're supposed to just be like, yeah, that's fine.
They casted a bunch of 50-year-olds as people who are supposed to be in their 20s. Like, what are we fucking talking about? What are we doing? Look.
I get it. You want big names in it, but, like, do a different story. Have them play a different character.
I remember us watching these trailers, like, from the get-go, and I just remember saying, like, there's no way this movie's good. Like, I'm watching this, and I'm like, this is not good. Remember that really awkward E3 that Randy Pitchford did for Gearbox, and, like, the whole thing about the E3 presentation, like, was the movie, and then they're just, like, it's just Randy Pitchford with a camera back, like, behind the scenes, and he's, like, being a weirdo, and, like, Kevin Hart's like, hey man, what's going on? I'm just filming a movie. Can you please get that camera away from me? The digital release is meant to erase a barrier, which is going to the actual movie theater. But when these movies come out, it's often $20 still. You rent them initially. It may go down later, but I don't think it's going to move the needle much, to be honest, personally. We've heard little from Gearbox about the film since its release, but it's pretty clear it killed ambitions for expansions of a live-action franchise. Borderlands 4 remains an unannounced huge project in the works for Gearbox and 2K.
I'm glad the IP is still...
But given how involved leadership of Gearbox was in the movie, that does raise some questions about what they may think will be good in a fourth game at this point. So I want to ask you, Deborah, I've really enjoyed Borderlands in the past, but I think you're a bigger Borderlands fan than I am. I would have to ask, seeing that, like, Randy Pitchford and the guys at Gearbox, the guys that made the games, overseeing these films, does that make you kind of worry about the next Borderlands game? Because, like, Randy Pitchford, like, the head of Gearbox, is, like, on set watching this film be made.
I'm going to say no, only because making a movie is so much different than, like, making a game.
That's fair.
And a lot of game adaptation movies fail. They have in the past. They're still 50-50 when you're going to get. So, I still have faith in the game.
I don't know. I don't agree. I'm actually more concerned about it than you are. I don't know. Yeah, so that's the Borderlands movie. Ty says, you didn't watch Halo, so it got canceled. You didn't watch Borderlands, so it got canceled. You didn't watch 1899? What the fuck is he talking about, 1899? What is he talking about? So it got what is 1899? Here's the thing. You didn't watch, it got canceled. Make good adaptations.
Thank you. Why is it our fault?
Yeah, why is it my fault that movie sucks?
Yeah, that's...
Like, hold on, Deborah, can I see your hand real quick? Just for a second. Turn it around. How dare you? How dare you not see the movie?
That makes...
What are you talking about?
If you want me to watch something, you want me to give you my money that I worked for, make it good enough for me to watch. I don't want to see Master Chief take off his helmet in Season 1. And then,
clapping cheeks.
Clapping cheeks in episode, Cheeks. 2 or 3? Look, and you want me to go watch that? A franchise that I've been playing for how long?
Look, here's the thing, right? I went and saw the Mario Brothers movie twice. I bought it on 4K Blu-ray the day it came out. That's a great adaptation.
It was pretty faithful to what it was.
Mm-hmm. There are when good, like The Last of Us show. I watched The Last of Us show. I enjoyed it. I bought the 4K Blu-ray and I enjoyed it because it was a good show. Like you can't just sit there and make an adaptation and just slap the name on it. Yeah, like, hey guys, it's Halo. Hey guys, it's Borderlands. Like no, it has to be. Like I didn't watch Uncharted. We disagree on this one. I didn't go and see Uncharted because I thought it looked like a bad adaptation of the games. I was like, what do you mean Tom Holland is playing Nathan Drake? We disagree. It's fine. It is what it is. I didn't even watch. Didn't even bother.
Yeah.
Like if you're not going to put any effort into being true to the game, I'm not going to go watch your adaptation.
Because at the end of the day, it is a game adaptation.
Right.
The viewers you're going to get, most of them are people who are familiar with that IP already. You want them to go to see it, and then on top of that, you want to make it a good movie. Who is Borderlands for? Who's going to watch Borderlands?
Yeah,
who is it for?
Fans. The Borderlands fans. That's who it's for.
Yeah, it's not for casual moviegoers, and if it was good enough, it would be. Like The Last of Us. The Last of Us was for the gamers and for people who were like, hey, this is a good show.
Right.
I don't get it.
You didn't watch Shadow and Bone, so it got canceled. When will your bloodbath end, says Ty?
And I get it. Some things don't deserve to get canceled. Like viewers are sometimes too harsh, but like this one is not one of it.
Season 2 of The Acolyte right before we went live. I don't agree with that, and I watched it. I thought it was fine. But again, sometimes it happens, but other times it's like, well, you got to put effort in to what you're making. You can't just make a shameless cash in.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. Like at this point, like people, they need to know.
Yeah.
The suit. Let your corpo shareholder friends know, Ty. We will not go see this shit. It has to be good. There has to be effort put into it. We won't go and watch it. We won't. And then that's it.
Yeah. You want me to watch it? Give me a reason to give you my money.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple.
You got to work for it.
I want to give you my money. I want a good Borderlands movie. That's the crazy part.
The trailer came out. I think I saw it before you, and I was like, "It's not good." And you were like, "Oh, I want it to be good so bad."
I did. I mean, I do.
I want it to be good too, but it's not. So, number 5 on the headlines. Activision, pretty much acting like Activision before Call of Duty Xbox bought it. Activision shuts down a popular Call of Duty Modern Warfare remastered mod a day before it came out. So, Dev, there was this fan-made mod that... So, let me back up a little bit. So, Activision put out a Call of Duty Modern Warfare remastered a couple years ago. You played it, but we played the Call of Duty games. I think I had you play the remastered one.
I think so.
But, Modern Warfare 2, they put out a Modern Warfare 2 remaster as well, but it was just the campaign. It wasn't the multiplayer. So if people really enjoyed the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, then they missed out because there was no multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, Ty says, we run the media and cinema, chump. You watch what we damn well give. Well, clearly not. He says, Dev, you want your flight to Las Vegas? You set Romeo straight. Well, clearly not, because it didn't make any money. So clearly you don't own the cinema, chump. You're just factually incorrect. People didn't go see the movie. Oh, wow. Yeah, really got it. How's that $100 million in the hole? You fucking losers. Get out of here. Anyways, so a fan-made mod that would have added Modern Warfare 2 content, the 2009 version of the game, to Modern Warfare Remastered on PC has been shut down. It's all thanks to Activision. The H2M mod for Modern Warfare Remastered was set to launch Friday, August 16th. However, just a day before launch, the developers were hit with a cease and desist from lawyers representing Activision. Quote, "Today our team members received a cease and desist order on behalf of Activision Publishing in relation to the H2M mod project," they said on Twitter. "We are complying with this order and shutting down all operations immediately and permanently. The H2M mod was going to add 50 maps to the game, along with new attachments and camos for the guns. The mod also included an updated progression system and even kill streaks from the original Modern Warfare 2. There was also some smaller patches put in, like, there used to be this exploit called the One-Man Army exploit, where basically One-Man Army would let you, like, reload your class.
Mm-hmm.
So people would do, like, the noob tubes, the grenade launchers across the map, and then they would do the One-Man Army, and they would have basically infinite noob tubes, and they would just stand across the map and rocket launch it.
Okay.
But with this new mod, they edited it so it wouldn't work that way. So they actually made the game better than the original in some ways, some would argue.
That's weird to...
Modern Warfare, well, here's the thing. So Modern Warfare Remastered saw a massive spike in players on Steam thanks to the pending release of the mod. The game had an over 300% increase in daily max players over the last few days compared to a month ago. It even found its way to Steam's top sellers in recent days due to the hype. Now it's likely those players once again turn away from the game with no mod coming. So really interesting thing here, and this is kind of where I lie on it, is I think it's scummy and wrong of Activision to put a cease and desist out a day before launch. Like, they were clearly aware about this mod, and in my opinion, you have the right to shut it down because it is your game.
Yeah.
But I think you do it right away. You don't let people buy the game knowing that this thing is coming and then shut it down. I think that's really shitty. Now, I also think it's kind of weird, and it kind of goes further to show you just maybe Xbox is too big, because you have Microsoft, you have the Bethesda side of Xbox, which is like, please come mod for our games. Please come and do that.
Yeah.
You have Fallout London, which just came out, and it's like this huge mod. It's such a big deal that even IGN and some reviewer outlets reviewed it as a standalone game.
Yeah.
Like,
it essentially
this is the same company. This is Xbox. And so you have Activision like, no, we don't want you modding our game. And I think that, for me, it comes across in poor taste, both the timing of it and the decision in general. And I think maybe, and again, this is just kind of the disappointing thing where I said earlier, where it's like, maybe it would have been better if Xbox did not get Activision, because it's just like, it seems like Activision is just the same old shit. It's like,
I wonder if it's, I mean, it is the same company. I wonder if there's things separating it, because you have to pay people for their mods. It's a fan-made mod, right?
Yes.
So you have to pay people, and I guess there's things involved, and maybe they want to do it themselves instead of having like outsider mod do it.
Well, that's my next question. Like, are they doing this? Because I don't think they're doing this. I don't think you're ever going to see this. I don't think you're ever going to see Activision put out like a mod. I mean, like, maybe they do a Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer remastered, but I don't think they will. They're just going to keep churning out the new ones. And the thing with Call of Duty is, the multiplayer especially, it's not the same game it was 10 years ago. Like, and this game is even more than 10 years old. So it's like, we talked about it when the 360 servers for the older Call of Duties magically started working right before the sale went through. And like, all these players flocked back to it. It's because those games were something special and really good, and people back then really liked them. There are a lot of people that don't like Call of Duty as much today as they did back then, not even because of the releases every year, just because they don't think they're as good as they used to be. And like, I'd be lying, like, I'm one of those people where it's like, I think the older Call of Duties are way better games than the newer ones. I mean, I'm excited for Black Ops 6, but if you ask me to name my top 10 Call of Duties, like, I don't think any of them are from the last 5 years. I think Black Ops 4 is the last one because I really like Blackout. But even then, if you take Blackout out of it, if you're talking just strictly multiplayer, I don't think I've had a top 10 Call of Duty in like 15 years. Like, as crazy as that is to say, like, it's just not good. If Xbox didn't purchase ABK, they'd be worse off. ABK is the main thing that's pulling in profit and growth for them right now. Yeah, but they've lost their competitive edge. They're not. Xbox isn't as strong for the consumer as they were before they bought Activision. I understand the shareholders are probably very pleased with the purchase, but I'm looking at it in different aspects, Ty. They're not better off as of right now in terms of competitive edge, drive, actually like taking care of the customers you already have. Like, those things are not working out, in my opinion. So the mod was closed down, Devereaux. The mod was closed down. And then suddenly, it got leaked. Activision issued the cease and desist letter, and then the next day, just a few hours before the mod was set to go live, taking the mod's official Twitter account, creators said that they were closing down immediately. However, a few hours after the announcement that its creators would abide by the cease and desist, the mod files suddenly leaked across several Discord servers, Devereaux. Around 800 people were playing the mod at the time of the writing of this article, with thousands believed to have downloaded it. The Call of Duty community has understandably put Activision under fire following its decision to issue the cease and desist. Following a strong week of promotion of H2M by its creators, Modern Warfare Remastered became a top-selling game on Steam for days on end, for the first time in nearly 8 years at that. As a result, the community has questioned as to why Activision issued the cease and desist just hours before its release. There was also an update about refunds. Steam said that if you had played under 2 hours, you could get a refund. So hopefully people get their refunds. Number 6, Black Myth Wukong developers set weird guidelines. Ty's probably going to click out. He doesn't. we're at a standstill on this one. As reported by, so VGC says Sports Illustrated's video games team. French content creator and former Game Cult editor Benoit Reiner posted a video revealing that he had been sent the document, which he shared online. The document he's referring to is a weird agreement policy where Black Myth Wukong influencers, upon receiving their code, were asked to not talk about politics, COVID-19, feminist propaganda, and more. The document sent to influencers and streamers by Hero Games, the marketing team for Black Myth Wukong's developer and publisher Game Science, specifies a number of topics that you cannot talk about while covering the game. These include insulting other influencers or players, using offensive language or humor, using trigger words like quarantine, isolation, or COVID-19, discussing China's game industry policies, opinions, news, etc. Perhaps most controversially, however, the document also tells influencers not to include politics, violence, nudity, feminist propaganda, fetishization, and other content that instigates negative discourse while discussing or streaming the game. It appears that the game document has only been sent to YouTubers and streamers rather than games journalists. So here's my thing, right? And this was really a disconnect. I was talking to Ty about this. And the disconnect was that Ty doesn't think that it's a problem. He doesn't see anything wrong with it. And I had to point out to him that it wasn't reviewers that got this email. It was content creators, streamers, video makers, people that weren't reviewing the game on a journalistic side, just people that were going to play the game for their audiences, their communities. And so here's the thing: I kind of want to get your take on this because my thing is
okay. I have questions.
Okay, ask your
Are they getting the game for free?
Yes.
Besides the don't insult other players and influencers, I disagree with all the other ones. I think if you're not causing harm to anyone, like, talk about whatever you want to talk about. Exactly. So here's the thing: you're getting the game for free. So I get it, like, hey, you want the game for free, play by our rules.
Right.
If you sign up for that, then that's on you. You sign up for that. But I don't want this to become a normal thing. I think you should be able to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. And I think gaming and politics, or not even gaming and politics, art and politics, it just goes hand in hand. It's art imitates life, and it's just, like, it's one of those things. Like, you can't play GTA and not talk about politics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that game, but it's the only thing it is, they're getting the game for free, so they're signing up to play by these rules, and that's fine. Like, whatever.
So I completely agree with everything you just said. So my stance on it is, and I joked with Ty. I was like, "This is America. Like, we believe in free speech here," and like I was joking about it, but that's what I mean. Where it's like, he thought you were gonna go his way. He said, "Oh, go Dev." He did not listen to the whole thing. He was if the game is free and you're signing up for it, hey, if you want to play our game for free, you have to follow these rules. I would sign that too. You know what I mean? Like, sure.
Okay, I know what I'm getting into. You don't want me to do this and don't want me to do that. But, like, I don't know. It's weird to be like, hey, don't talk about politics. Don't curse. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird to me.
So here's my thing. My thing is that I think that if you're a streamer, again, if you're a reviewer and you're reviewing the game, if you're reviewing the game, like, yeah, I don't think your review of Black Myth Wukong should mention anything about today's politics, which is why they didn't say it to journalists. But like if you're a streamer, right? Like us, like we talk up to our chat. Like if you're a streamer, you're talking to your community. You know, like you're not just playing a game. The big appeal of streaming is that you're part of a community where it's like, hey, this guy, you know, he's playing a game. I feel like I'm hanging out with someone watching them play the game.
Yeah.
And like we talk about shit, real life shit all the time when we're playing games.
Yeah.
We sit here just talking about whatever's going on, politics, whatever. And so like, my thing is that I don't think that the developer has a right to tell people what they can and can't say about while they're playing their game.
Yeah.
Now here's my thing, and this is where I think Ty doesn't understand. As a streamer, like let's say right now, like the developer gives me a copy of Black Myth Wukong, and I just start talking about the election that's coming up here in the States this year. I have every right to do that. Like that's my right. It's my stream. It's like I have the free speech. Now here's the thing. Free speech has consequences. So at the same time, while I don't think the developer has a right to tell people what they can and can't say on their streams, I do think that the developer has a right to say, well, last time we gave you a code, we didn't like how you handled it, so we're not giving you a code.
Oh, absolutely.
That's where I stand on it. I think that free speech has consequences.
You didn't follow our rules, so now we're not going to give you a free game. Absolutely.
Yeah, free speech has consequences. You can't tell someone that they can't talk about stuff. Because in today's world, like you said, art and politics go hand in hand. You can't get away from it. Guess what? This game is made by a Chinese studio. Guess what? People want to talk about China, whether it be in politics or the gaming industry. Like that's
telling
just
people
what it is.
Telling people they can't talk about COVID-19 when it affected literally the entire world for a year, for longer than a year. We're still like,
there's news headlines about like a new monkeypox thing, and like people are already making jokes about it. It's like, so like what? Someone on their stream like can't be like, Chad, watch out for this thing. Like it might be the next COVID. Is that violating the rules because you're talking about COVID there? What are we doing? What are we talking about? And again, like I get it. Like you want them to focus on the game, but like at the end of the day, the developer doesn't have a right to tell the content creator what they talk about on their streams. But the developer does have a right to say, hey, next game, you're not getting a code because we didn't like what you talked about on your stream when you played our game. And then there's consequences that come with that where people will look at that developer and judge them based off of that. But that's how it works, is that every action has a consequence, both positive and negative. So for me, that's how I view it. I think that the developer has no right to tell you what you can and can't say on a stream. That's just what I think. The giving out the game for free to people and they want them to follow these rules, that's the only, like, okay, I get it. I get it. Like, if you agree to it, you agree to it. Like, it is what it is. But, like, I don't think it's right for them to do it.
Yeah.
Ty says, this dev, they're Chinese, so of course they don't want people to talk about Chinese politics. That sucks for them. Like if there was a game made here in the West and it was played there, and the streamer, in my opinion, that streamer has every right to talk about America. It goes both ways.
We're a shit show right now too.
Yeah, we're a shit show, and I don't blame people in other countries for talking about it.
Yeah.
Imagine being a dev in Russia. All you care about is making games. You don't agree with the war, just games, and then people. Well, guess what? Unfortunately,
what's the studio? I can't think of them right now. Their game has been delayed a bunch. Stalker.
CSG.
Yeah.
Game World.
They openly talked about the war. They had to cancel development. Imagine them putting out this game and being like,
exactly.
Hey, we're gonna give you this game for free, but don't talk about the war in Russia, when it affected their development directly. And
that's real life, Ty. Yes, we love video games, we play games, but guess what? There's a real world that exists around us. So
and you don't hear them say, don't talk about the
Yeah, no, you don't.
They're open about it. They talk about it themselves.
They've lost friends in that war.
Yeah.
There are developers of this game that have fucking died.
Yeah, and they openly talk about it. So it's your point for Russia is it doesn't make sense.
Ty, but you don't understand. Politics, Devereaux said it earlier, and he's 100% right. Politics have always been a part of art. That's what it is. You don't have to like it, but that's just factually, the way it is. Would you not play Far Cry 5 because of the cultish vibe? That game came out at a very particular time in our current political history, and there's a lot of things you could lines you could draw there, with Far Cry 5. Are you not playing Far Cry 5 because it might be a little too political for you? No, it's a good game, so you're gonna go play it. And that's just art, man. art and real life and politics, like, it's always a thing. And it's always going to be a thing. It's never not going to be a thing. So, yeah. You guys are setting a dangerous precedent for video games. No wonder.
What do you mean?
It's called free speech, Ty. It's called free speech.
It's already been done. This is one company saying, hey, we shouldn't do what's been, like... I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get your point.
I don't get his point either. I don't know. You both should be ashamed.
Be ashamed of what?
Be ashamed of feeling like everybody has a right to free speech? Yeah, I mean...
Like I said, the only thing on there that I really agree with that no one should be doing, whether you bought the game or you got it for free, is like, what was the first one? Don't like...
Trashing others.
Yeah, don't trash other people, or other influencers, other content creators. Yeah, like...
Yeah, you shouldn't bully other players.
No, don't bully.
Yeah,
don't be a bully.
Yeah, that's rude. Don't do that.
But like, inflation sucks. And if I'm going to talk, like... You know what I mean? It's like...
They're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like...
You can't talk about inflation.
I can't talk about inflation because...
It's like, man, this game is $70. That's really unfortunate because inflation's really bad right now. Can I see your hand again? Can I see your hand again?
Oh, not again.
I didn't like that. Can I try it one more time?
Look at that. I don't get it.
How dare you talk about inflation in today's world?
Yeah, it's just like...
Nonsense. Just absolute nonsense from Ty. But, anyway, so yeah, that's weird. And also, it's just really dumb on their part, because now, like, that's, like, something people are talking about more than the game itself.
Yeah.
And it's kind of their fault. It's like, well, that sucks. So maybe you shouldn't try to restrict free speech. People would just talk about your cool game that just came out. But I digress. I mean, there are more issues with that game with the PS5 port. Apparently, it's extremely buggy. But anyways, let's move on. Number 7, Replaced, has been delayed. This comes from the studio Sad Cat Studios, makers of the game. Hey everyone, we'll keep it short. Replaced will now be released in 2025. Our initial release date was optimistic, and we apologize for that. Developing Replaced is quite a unique challenge, and we're proud to be creating something that's special. We need more time to ensure we meet high standards we've set for ourselves, and to meet the expectations of our fans. Feel free to join our Discord. We post lots of devlogs there to share the progress and are open for a chat. Replaced was featured at Summer Games Fest earlier this summer, and now it will also finally be available at Gamescom for everyone to play. Come say hi. For those not attending, we prepared something special for later this week. Now, back to work. We want you to love Replaced when it launches, so we have to go the extra mile here. Sad Cat Studios team. So Replaced is a game that I've been really excited for the past few years since it was announced at Xbox's summer E3, whatever, showcase. Take your time. I think this game looks incredible. I'm very much anticipating this game. That's all I can say. I mean, the B-roll speaks for itself. I think this game looks...
It does look gorgeous.
Special.
Yeah.
So, like, take your time. But, so... Yeah. Number 8 in the headlines. What we can expect from Gamescom Opening Night Live, which will be taking place less than 24 hours from right now at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the U.S. According to show host and producer Jeffrey Keighley, who used Twitter on Tuesday to tease plans for next week's event, Gamescom Live will include new game announcements as well as updates on previously revealed titles. Some of the previously announced games that we will see tomorrow include Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Monster Hunter Wilds, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Sid Meier's Civilization 7, Marvel Rivals, and Dune Awakening. He also says, yes, there will be new game announcements, Keighley confirmed in a follow-up post. His last major showcase, June's Summer Games Fest Live, largely focused on previously announced games, where this showcase might be a little bit of both. Ty says, Avowed and Replaced delayed. 2 Xbox exclusives delayed. Xbox sucks and has no games. Well,
can't argue with them.
They're not going to have any exclusives pretty soon, so yeah, I guess you
can't argue with it.
I would say Indiana Jones is coming out in a couple months, but it's going to be on PlayStation, so who knows. Alright. Opening Night Live, like I said, takes place tomorrow with the main Gamescom event running from August 21st to 25th in Cologne, Germany. THQ Nordic has already confirmed plans to reveal a new game from Little Nightmares developer Tracer Studios at Opening Night Live.
That's cool.
Keighley previously said the show will include a first look at gameplay from Dontnod's Lost Records Bloom and Rage. I'm looking forward to that. As well as Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Some other little things. Xbox has been teasing some big announcements both at Opening Night Live and at their own streams. So they're going to have a good week at Gamescom, I guess. I mean, I think the Indiana Jones thing is gonna unfortunately overshadow stuff for them, but they're gonna keep stepping on rakes. That's a them decision. I think we're also might be getting a new Dying Light game announced, but we'll see how that goes. Deb, are you looking forward to Jeff Keighley's Germany E3?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Any more game news? Like, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, same. Next up in the headline, number 9. I'm interested to get your take on this as well as Ty's take on this. An indie developer has canceled their next game's Xbox version, and then they've criticized Microsoft over 14 months of delays.
Damn.
So, bit of Monday drama in Xbox land. Here at the... sorry, hold on, what's going on? Okay, there we go. So, indie platformer Hawk, Haak, is becoming more interesting by the minute. To try and sum things up, basically the team behind the indie title, which it's already released on PC, Switch, and mobile, have taken to Twitter to publicly criticize Microsoft over their ID at Xbox experience. The dev claims that it spent over 14 months trying to apply for game publication without much help at all from Xbox. This has resulted in them canceling the Xbox release of the game and putting out a lengthy statement. So let's kind of back up, and we're going to look at their initial statement. They say, "Thank you very much for your help and attention." Oh, wait, hold on. This actually, I don't think was the original. Hold on. I'm just trying to make sure I have the right one. I think this site has them all backwards. Okay, never mind. All right, so someone on Twitter asked them, like, "Hey, when is the game coming to Xbox?" And they said, "Thank you very much for your help and attention. During the process of getting our game on Xbox, we've encountered numerous obstacles. What seemed like a simple procedure turned into a nightmare due to many bugs in the Microsoft Partner Center, preventing us from successfully completing account registration. Even Microsoft's support service system had bugs, making it impossible to initiate inquiries about our issues. This is simply unbelievable for developers. We informed ID at Xbox about our predicament, but they were powerless to help, as it apparently falls outside their scope of responsibility and seems to be a Microsoft issue. In reality, porting the Xbox version to our game would have taken less than 2 weeks, but we spent over 14 months trying to apply for game publication and complete Microsoft partner identity registration. This experience has been terrible because we can feel the enthusiasm from the Xbox community players, yet we struggle to resolve the problems at hand. Although we very much want to share Hawk's adventure story with more players, our development funds are extremely tight and we can't afford to wait any longer. As a result, we've ultimately decided to abandon the Xbox platform release. We deeply regret this outcome, but we've truly done our best. To be honest, this is the first time since we've started developing games that we've felt such enthusiastic support from our players. This convinced us that the Xbox community must be truly amazing. We love it. We're incredibly grateful to all the Xbox players who have offered support and assistance." So they canceled their game. They said that they spent a long time, 14 months, trying to get the Xbox ID program to get publication so they can get their game on Xbox. There's some sort of bug. It's not taken care of.
That sucks.
The next day, there's more to the story. So, someone at Xbox reaches out to them. Now, they post this email, so we know it's legit. It obviously doesn't tell you who exactly from Microsoft sent it, but it says, "Hi, Derek. I have an update for you. First of all, I would like to extend our deepest apologies from me personally as well as my company for the trouble you've gone through getting onboarded with us for your game, Hawk. I have spoken to my team to better understand the situation, and we think the issue is due to a back-end error that needs to be resolved by us. It is not an issue that you have had to deal with, and for that you should have had to deal with, and for that we are sorry. I would like to ask if you would be open to reconsidering bringing your game to Xbox if you get close support and monitoring from myself, a dedicated developer partner manager, and more. We will try to also expedite it so it will not take so long. I've spoken with many internally and we agree that you and your game deserve better support from the start. I will personally work with you on ensuring it is a smooth process as much as possible from here on out. On a personal note, when I first got in touch with you back in February, I actually bought and played Hawk on Steam because I was really interested in your title, and I liked it a lot. It would be a shame if we can't help you bring that experience to more of our players on Xbox. Let me know what you think, and I will be here for you. Thanks, and sorry again." So, Deborah, what is what's your thought process on what this man? It's a manager because he even says so. Basically, like all jobs, this was escalated to a manager.
Yeah.
How do you feel like Xbox handled this?
Sloppy. I mean,
in the follow up even.
No, in the follow up, I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, I think they should do it, but like, it shouldn't have gotten to that point.
I agree.
It's disappointing, and I do hope the developer can uncancel their game and get it out there. You know what I mean?
Well, let's get into this update about it.
All right.
You would think that, like, okay, it's like, look, it sucks, and it's definitely a problem on Microsoft's end, but, like, as someone who works in management, like, unexpected shit kind of pops up from time to time. So it's like, as a manager, as someone who manages myself, it's like sometimes, like, well, how did this happen? Like, this shouldn't have happened. You step in, you take care of a problem, and, like, and it is what it is. Like, that's life. However, the developer said, we've received an email response from Microsoft. We informed them of specific details of the bugs we encountered, and they confirmed that they were indeed bugs in the backend and apologized to us. However, we have ultimately decided not to publish on the Xbox platform. We are very clear that similar issues needing to wait indefinitely for their email responses to move forward with problem solving are likely to occur again in the future, which is very inefficient, and this is just for completing the account registration process for game publication. After we released our announcement, we received some skeptical voices with thoughts like, why haven't other game developers encountered these problems, and only you have? In fact, some other developers have encountered similar problems to ours. They spent at least 6 months or more to complete the Xbox publishing process without collaborating with a publisher, and most of the time was wasted on waiting for email responses and waiting for game reviews. The skeptical voices make us realize that the fundamental reason for the inefficiency of some large companies is precisely this mindset. When facing exposed problems, they habitually choose to ignore these problems rather than truly solving them. Most people prefer to view problems existing in these systems or processes as only happening to a very few people, occurring by chance, or because the person who discovered the problem is a fool, and try to avoid facing and solving the actual problems by dealing with the person who discovered the problem. This ultimately leads to problems being habitually ignored, causing bigger troubles in the future. The biggest question is, why haven't all backend errors we reported to Xbox about back in April 2024 been resolved until now? And that was basically that was basically it from them. I'm just gonna say it. I mean, like, look, like,
you think they should have bit the bullet? And
like, look, I'm in this very show. I'm very critical of Xbox. Like, this is not me kind of waving a flag and being like, well, you know, I'm an Xbox fan, so I'm just like, whatever, fuck it. No, I'm just gonna be honest. As someone who works in management, I think that this developer turned into a major fucking Karen. Like, look, I understand the frustration, but when the manager comes over and is like, hey, we're gonna expedite this, I'm gonna take care of this, I'm really sorry, I don't know what happened, like, it just gives off major Karen energy to act like shit doesn't happen. Like, guess what? Like, it happens everywhere. You go out to eat and they mess up your food, and you gotta wait for them to make a new plate of food. Like that's Karen energy, in my opinion. And also, I like, while I understand that, like, I'm sure more developers than this one developer has had this issue, it also is kind of Karen energy to be like, well, clearly a lot of people must have this issue. Where it's like, I don't know. A developer, Madfellow's Games, actually replied to them, said, I'm quite shocked at this. We didn't have any of these issues developing for Xbox. I can appreciate the frustration we've experienced similar with other partnerships. As an indie, a delay of a few months can be the difference between sink or swim. The stress can be immense. But, like, I don't know, to me it's just kind of Karen energy. At that point, like, you have an issue, the manager has gotten themselves involved and has said, we're going to expedite this, we're going to get this through really quickly, we're going to fix the problems, and then your response is to publicly, like, and that's the other thing, like, they didn't just, like, drop it and move on. They literally posted emails between them and this Xbox manager at Xbox and said, this is all the manager can do for us, and we're still going to not bring the game to Xbox. It's like, well, why are you even bringing this up at this point? Like, you're just complaining at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I try to be very pro developer, but it's like, again, like, just as someone who works in management myself, it's just big Karen energy. Ty says, I get the developer's frustration, but it just seems somewhat unprofessional. I agree completely.
Yeah.
There was no need to screenshot Xbox's response, and even at that response should be. Ty and I completely agree on this. There it is. Ty, send me a check. Can I get a flight to Las Vegas? No, I just for me it's major Karen energy where it's just like, okay, it just sounds like you're just trying to drum up like buzz around your game at this point where it's like they offered to try to fix it graciously at that, and you could have just said no thank you. It's like, no, it's not really worth it for us at this point. We're moving on. Instead you're like, I'm screenshotting the email, I'm going on, I'm saying people have problems, Xbox is terrible, this is the problem we're having. Like, it's just bad. In my opinion, I'm just gonna say it's pathetic, to be honest. It's extremely lame energy, but I guess the developer, is what it is.
It does. I mean, I don't know. If I was a developer, I would have just sucked it up at that point.
That's what I'm saying. Like
yeah.
when
I want my game out there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, why wouldn't you? At that point, you're just being difficult. At that point,
they have every right to be upset. Don't get me wrong.
They do.
It's just they're shooting themselves in the foot.
Again, it's how you handle a situation. It's like you are more than entitled if you have a bad experience. And again, this goes on a person level. Like you are more than entitled to have be upset about a bad experience at a service or as a customer or something. You have every right. You have every right to voice that displeasure. But at that point, an Xbox manager reached out to you, and based off the email I don't know why you bothered screenshotting an email, because I think that is a home run customer service email. If I was in that position, that email, honestly, that email is better than I would have done. And I've been in management for a long time, and I don't want to toot my own horn. I'm really good at customer service. It's one of my strengths. I don't think I would have done that good of a job. That is a great job in terms of customer service. And it's just you're gonna post the email online on Twitter and then continue to bitch about it and say, no, we're not doing it. We don't care.
It sucks.
Yeah, it's just sad. It's just sad to see people act that way. Very unprofessional. Speaking of things that are sad, in the ongoing saga of VR does not want Rome to invest in VR. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas VR is delayed indefinitely so Meta can focus on other projects. About 3 years ago, Meta caused some profound head tilts when it revealed it was going to try to do a VR remake of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Unfortunately, the project is not coming anytime soon, as Meta has officially confirmed that it had been put on hold indefinitely. A Meta spokesperson confirmed to IGN via email that the game had been put on hold indefinitely. Additionally, the official MetaQuest VR YouTube account responded after users commented on the trailer for the upcoming MetaQuest game Behemoth, developed by Skydance Games. GTA San Andreas is on hold indefinitely while we both focus on other projects. MetaQuest VR's official YouTube account confirmed in the comments. Dev, I have to ask you.
What other projects? Why is this not your main focus? It's Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. What are you doing?
I'm so glad. That was the question I was going to ask. What does Meta have cooking VR-wise? Where they're like, Grand Theft Auto? Hey!
Yeah, we'll push that to the side. Yeah, what else are you working on where this comes not even second? This is indefinitely... I'm
telling you right now, I would buy a $500 VR headset to play Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Yeah, in your mind, what other games in VR could they have come out with?
I don't know.
A Halo? If they came out with a Halo 1 and 2 VR?
Zelda, Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't know. This is... it sounds like it's too hard to do and they're giving up, but I don't understand what other projects they have that could be more important. I would do whatever
it takes to make this happen.
Yeah.
For me, there's no justification in my mind where I'm like, okay, I can see why they're not doing this.
Yeah.
No, I don't care what other games. Every other game should get canceled to make sure this game happens.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get it.
So, yeah. Turns out Grand Theft Auto 6 will be the next and last Grand Theft Auto game. And the last video game ever, period. So. Number 11 on the headlines. The Super Switch will not launch this fiscal year. If you've been hoping to see the next Nintendo Switch be released in early 2025, you're going to be disappointed. According to new claims, the Switch 2 will not be launching in fiscal year 25. On last episode of GI Microcast, GamesIndustry.biz's head of games, Christopher Dring, gave an update on what he's been told about the next Nintendo console. He says, "No developer I've spoken to expects it to launch in this financial year. In fact, they've been told not to expect it in this financial year. A bunch of people I spoke to hope it's out in April, May time, still early next year, not late. Despite no launch during the fiscal year, an official reveal of the console is still expected during that time frame. For clarification, Nintendo's fiscal year runs from April 1st to March 31st. So basically, you're not going to see it in February or March. Which kind of expected, but...
Yeah, it's expected. Do you think it comes out April, May, or do you think it comes out fall?
I think April, May. Maybe May, June. A June launch might make sense. There's nothing else in June. But, like, 2025 is stacked, and, like, I know Nintendo doesn't do this, really.
Yeah.
They don't, like, care what other people do. But, like, I would not launch a console in holiday 2025. I mean, GTA...
Yeah, not holiday. I would do fall.
I think... Look,
September-ish.
I think 2025 is going to be loaded. I think GTA, obviously, is going to launch 2025. I think Nintendo's probably going to have Nintendo's going to have a 3D Mario, which is great, but... I mean,
it makes the most sense. I think you said like May, June makes the most sense. Summer starting in America at least. Like kids are getting out of school. Yeah. I don't know. It just makes sense to launch there. Like
PlayStation, I expect Wolverine to come out next holiday season. I think GTA is going to come out next holiday season. I think Xbox is going to have Fable next holiday season. Probably, we don't have a date for Gears, but like I feel like Gears is close. Gears has to be close. So like that could be next holiday season. Like, I just think that there's a lot going on in the games industry where 2025 is going to be really big, especially holiday. And, like, obviously Nintendo console is big. But, like, I don't know. I wouldn't launch around a game like GTA 5. Or GTA 6, excuse me.
I think I agree with that.
Even if you're Nintendo. Like, I get it, but, like, I would let it breathe. Especially because there are going to be people who are going to upgrade their Xboxes or PlayStations to play GTA 6.
Yeah.
So it's like... I don't know.
Yeah, because there's supposed to be console updates next year.
They're only current gen consoles. The GTA 6 is only on Xbox Series X and S and PS5. So you're going to have to upgrade if you haven't already.
Yeah.
And you're not going to shell out for 2 consoles in a matter of months. It just doesn't go. I can't do that. So it's like, I'm sure most people can. Number 12 in the headlines. Star Wars Eclipse lead writer has left Quantic Dream to start a new studio. Adam Williams, who joined Quantic Dream in 2015, posted a message on his LinkedIn announcing he's left the studio and founded his own. After almost 10 years of Quantic Dream, I am leaving to found a new studio together with a group of very talented designers and developers, Williams wrote. We can't say much yet. We are working on something very innovative, very special, and for now, very secret. More on that soon. Kind of sucks. Hopefully it doesn't affect Eclipse too much. Hopefully most of the writing's already done. But
you would think it would be, right? At this point, like, it's been like
4 years.
Yeah.
Something like that.
This trailer, this is the reveal trailer. It came out 2 years ago.
When was it revealed?
It just says 2 years ago. I don't have an exact date, but...
Okay. Next up, number 13 in the headlines. Some sad news that happened over the week. Pokemon's voice actor for Misty and Jessie, Rachel Lillis, has passed away. Lillis died last Saturday at the age of 46 following a battle with breast cancer. Among numerous roles across films, games, and other media, American-born Lillis was the original English voice actor for Pokemon anime characters including Jessie and Misty. News of her passing was shared by fellow voice actor Veronica Taylor, who was the original voice of Ash Ketchum, and paid tribute to Lillis on Twitter. It is with a heavy heart that I share the news of the passing of Rachel Lillis on Saturday evening, August 10th, 2024, Taylor wrote. Rachel was an extraordinary talent, a bright light that shone through her voice whether speaking or singing. She will be forever remembered for the many animated roles she played, with her iconic performances as Misty and Jessie being the most beloved. Rachel was so thankful for all of her generous love and support that was given to her as she battled with cancer. It truly made a positive difference. Her family also wishes to thank you as they take this time to grieve privately. A memorial is being planned for a future date. GoFundMe campaign launched earlier this year that raised almost $100,000 to help care for her. Really unfortunate stuff. I mean, we talked about it like when Akira Toriyama passed, where it's like there's like cornerstones of your childhood, and like Dragon Ball Z is definitely one of them, but Pokemon is another one.
Yeah,
for definitely. Me, where it's just like it's really unfortunate. I mean, obviously she did more work than just Pokemon, but like the voice of Misty and Jessie are just like such distinct voices.
Yeah. I think Jessie even more so. It's like.
So here's the thing, Pokemon, and this is always something that really bothered me, and like the original voice actors of Pokemon did such a great job that like when Pokemon lost, when 4Kids lost Pokemon and it went to like another company and they rechanged all the voices, that killed the show for me. And like it's crazy that like the performances were that important, but it's like I fell off of the show because it was like, man, like the voice, like Misty was off the show at that point, but Jessie wasn't, and like it always just really like I couldn't get into the new voices. Like no offense to the new voice actors, but it's just like
they weren't who's
just so iconic. Ash and Misty and Brock and Jessie and James and Meowth and Pikachu and all that, where it's just like special stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, rest in peace, and just sad, and we'll hear her voice again when I watch Pokemon again in the future. Number 14, we have a few headlines about Final Fantasy VII Remake, believe it or not. First up, Square Enix could switch to Unreal Engine 5 for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3. The director, Naoki Hamaguchi, told CG World Japan that the company planned to assess the pros and cons of sticking with Unreal 4 versus moving to the newer engine. Spotted on Twitter by user Genki, Hamaguchi says that he thinks what players want most for Square Enix is to deliver the final game in good shape as soon as possible. So I don't know. Will they switch? Will they not? I don't know. What would you rather them do? Get the game out a little bit faster, or make it look be in Unreal 5?
I think go all out. I mean, they're 2 for 2 right now. You've loved both of them, right?
I love both of them. I think I like the first one more, but yeah, I love both of them.
Yeah, I think do what you can. Let the game take longer if it needs to. Go for it.
Well, I mean,
what have they? Does it say what engine they're using now currently?
Unreal 4.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
So it's like the question is, do they upgrade to Unreal 5 or do they just stick with Unreal 4?
I don't know. I think they go 5. That's me personally. I guess the game. I don't know how much longer that adds.
Mm-hmm.
But.
Well, so here's the thing, right? So. The director has also said, and this is my next headline. He says that the Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 will be one of the greatest video games ever made.
All right.
He says, speaking at an event held at Final Fantasy VII Rebirth exhibition currently taking place in Saudi Arabia, the director said Square Enix was working away on the third part of the trilogy. The development team is hard at work as we speak, and we're going to make the game something that even beats any expectations that you have towards the game.
Go for it. Like,
I'm absolutely confident that the third game in the Final Fantasy VII Remake series will be one of the most loved, most popular games in the whole history of video games once again.
This man is gassing it up.
Also, during the presentation, Hamaguchi said the game's producer, Yoshinori Kitase, explained how the third game will build on its two predecessors, both in terms of content and gameplay improvements. We've done all the groundwork now, all the story which has been built up through Remake and Rebirth, Hamaguchi said, and now we're in a great position so all the fans are wondering and expecting how the story's going to end, where it's going to go from here. Kitase added, we really have listened very carefully and taken on board all of the feedback from the first two games on the series, and all of those learnings are going to be reflected in the third game. So it'll be exactly what the fans are looking for. That's a lot. That is a lot.
That is a lot, but like...
This man's up here saying, like, this is going to be the greatest game in the history of games.
Yeah, go for it. Like,
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that's exciting.
A high promise, though.
Do I believe it? No, but...
I mean, like, look, here's the thing.
Honestly, I want the lead guy to talk about any game I want to get. I want them to talk about it this way. You know what I mean? Like,
that's fair.
This is the game. Like, guys, this game is great. What we're working on, you guys are going to be very excited for. It's
going to be a come to Jesus moment.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? Like, I've said it before. Like, Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, like, in terms of, like, I think if you asked me to put, like, my top 10 games of the last decade,
they're up there.
They're on the list. Like, I know they are, and they're high on the list. Again, we're talking, like, new games from the last decade.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, to go make that promise, it's like, this is going to be the greatest game ever. Like, okay. I mean, we'll see.
What would you, just really quick, what would you rate the other games? Like, 1 out of 10, if you had to?
I think the first one's a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
And I think the second one is like a high 9 out of 10.
Because no matter what happens, I mean, I'm sure they're going to put work on it. I can't imagine the third game being, like, anything lower than, like, an 8 or a 7. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, building off
I would be shocked. It would be the biggest fumble of all time if it's like, man, here's the first two. They're all the way up here.
Yeah.
And the third one's like...
Yeah, I can't imagine it dropping that low in quality.
I can't. Like...
But hearing them talk like this, I imagine it's just going to be another 10 out of 10. Like, I don't know.
I'm very excited for it.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
That's exciting.
Big promises. Speaking of big things, Activision is finally doing something about Call of Duty's giant downloads. Call of Duty games have been they're infamous for having giant file sizes.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen my problems on my internal hard drive. But ahead of October 25th launch of Black Ops 6, Activision is going to make some changes so that Call of Duty titles don't take up as much space on your hard drive, including separating Warzone from the default download for the annual games. The default separation of Warzone is happening soon on August 21st. With Season 5 Reloaded, Activision also says it's going to rely more on texture streaming, and players will be able to pick between optimized or minimal streaming. In mid-October, Activision plans to introduce a new user interface for browsing Call of Duty games as well. But to prepare for these changes, Activision says you're going to have to download a big update as part of Season 5 rollout that will reorganize the game's files and add new tech to prep the way for a full player interface. After the update is done, Activision says that Call of Duty's footprint will go down because of file optimizations. So you have to download a giant update to get the giant update to go down.
Yeah.
I have an idea. What if you just not have it build off the same hub every year that they've done for the last 4 years?
I think also they don't.
I hate that they do that.
They don't. I don't think they compress anything, so it's just all
they're saying it's all file. They're going to do file streaming.
Yeah.
Like
it's funny because I remember when there was rumors of what the GTA 6 file size was going to be, and people were like, "Oh no, what are we going to do? Just remove one Call of Duty game. You'll be all right."
Yeah. It's going to be fine. Because of the updates, Activision says Black Ops 6 will be a smaller download at launch than Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
The company doesn't have a specific download size for Black Ops 6 yet, but it says that the estimated file sizes shown on the pre-order listings don't represent the download size or disk footprint for the game. Activision had to clarify this after the Xbox Store page listed a 309.85 gigabyte download. They're like, guys, it's not going to be that. We don't know where that number came from.
Yeah.
I was like, you should probably take the number down then if that's the...
To be fair, though, I think games are going to, games are just going to get bigger. You know what I mean?
Storage needs to be compatible.
Yeah.
And progress further. 1 terabyte doesn't cut it, and I'm not spending $300 on terabytes.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Yeah. Number 60 on the headlines, another delay. This time, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is great because the first game is still in my backlog from years ago. In a post this past week, they've delayed the game to February 11th, 2025. So it's going to come out, I think, the same week as Avowed. So there you go.
All right. Are you going to play the first one anytime soon? Can you see yourself?
I'm trying, man. So here's the thing. I'm playing Octopath Traveler 1 still.
Oh, yes. How far? Oh, I guess we'll talk about that at the end. But...
Yeah, that's what we'll talk about later. Next up, number 17, Crash Bandicoot's Trilogy. Huge success on Game Pass. Who would have thought, Devereaux, that Xbox finally getting these Activision games on Game Pass was going to be successful for them? Did you see that coming?
I had no idea. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, well, I mean, apparently, Crash Bandicoot. Oh, I just got some pop up. TrueAchievements.com. Why are you doing this? Hold on. They went up by 3,000%. I'm not reopening the tab. They just gave me some spam.
3,000%.
3,000%.
That's crazy.
Yes. On Xbox, they went up by 3,000%.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
Where are the other games? Come on, Xbox. You see this happening.
They're like, guys, why did we not do more of these? It's just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. Number 18 on the headlines. Something nice that Xbox is going to be doing. I appreciate it since I now have a digital wish list. Haven't bought anything off of it yet. Will not for a long time. Unless somebody wants to gift me an Xbox gift card. You're soon going to be able to see your Xbox Store wish list from your console home screen. Microsoft has detailed a new insider update that's begun testing a pretty neat wish list feature. Some Alpha Ring Xbox insiders will see their store wish list appear right on the dashboard, rather than having to head to the dedicated store area to see it. For now, Xbox says that a random subset of alpha users will be seeing this feature, with more insiders to follow. Eventually, once it's all cleared out, it'll roll out to all users. I like this. I like this a lot. I think that that's something that you should definitely streamline, is have your wish list as public as, not public, but as upfront as you can find it.
I think so, yeah.
Especially in today's world, I guess. Number 19 in the headlines. Nearly 90% of developers surveyed says premium games don't need microtransactions. The microtransaction debate has been raging with the gaming industry for years now, and it's not just players who question the necessity of the extra purchases. In a recent survey among developers at DevCom, you have a whole com?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I'll tell you about it later.
Oh, okay. In Cologne, nearly 90% of those asked said that premium games don't need microtransactions. According to the 100 developers asked out of the 300 speakers at the event, 89% said that they believe that premium AAA games can be financially successful just by being buy to play. I agree. Sticking with business models, 65% of people believe in a premium games model for both physical and digital games. Only one person believed that free-to-play with ads was the best direction for the industry. So they asked 100 people. And one guy was like, yeah, free-to-play with ads sounds great. That's what we should do. It's probably like one of the CEOs.
Free to play with ads, does that include all the content?
I assume so.
Because if it includes everything, actually, I don't know about that. If it's a multiplayer only game,
Oh no, hold on. So if free to play with ads, I think that would include microtransactions. I would assume.
Oh, that's gross.
That's what it is. In other areas of the survey, 31% of developers prefer little AI usage in game development. That said, 21% did have an interest in using AI to help with coding and general production to increase the development speed of the games. Finally, in regards to AI, the belief among those polled was that AI could replace human localizations and translations within the next 2 years.
That's cool. I think that's a useful.
Well, so the last one, they could, it has the technology to do it. Not that they would support it.
Yeah.
Moving on to the challenges facing the industry as a whole, 55% believed it's caused by market saturation, while another 46% point towards the rising development costs of games. I think it's both. Regarding layoffs, 57% said that layoffs will continue either at the same pace or higher pace over the next 12 months. On the opposite side of things, 43% said that layoffs will decrease within the same time frame. Do you think we're going to see a decrease or like a steady or increase of layoffs for the next 12 months?
I think steady. For the next 12 months, I think it's going to...
I think it's going to be a decrease, but only because...
They've already fired everyone.
Well, yeah, because it's like Xbox laid off like 1,700 people.
Yeah.
PlayStation laid off like 1,700 people.
Yeah.
Epic laid off 2,000 people. It's
yeah. All the big guys.
They already EA let go like 8% of their workforce. Like I think you've already seen the big guns. Like there will be more layoffs, and we have more layoffs to talk about today. But I don't think you're going to see like another 1,700 people let go. From
I think
Xbox
I agree with that. I agree with that. Well, yeah, there will be more layoffs, but I don't think there'll be any super hard hitting ones. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's going on. That's what developers think right now at DevCom. Number 20, layoffs have hit Ubisoft. But, I mean, like, see, it sucks because obviously we've talked about layoffs of like 1,800. It's like, so like you say only before this number, but it's still, so only 45 jobs were cut from Ubisoft in the U.S. studios behind XDefiant and Rocksmith. It's still 45 jobs.
Yeah.
Those are still 45 human beings who've lost their source of income and their livelihood. But it's only 45.
Only 45, yeah.
It's terrible. It's fucking oh my god, it's so terrible. This was reported by Bloomberg. It's spread across the Cary, North Carolina-based Red Storm Entertainment and Ubisoft San Francisco. So 45 jobs cut. Number 21. Gamescom is this week, as we talked about, Dev. However, usually you know how they do like a best of show awards? The Gamescom has scrapped the Best of Nintendo award. There will not be one this year.
That's crazy.
Because there's too few Nintendo games.
Is there?
Well, according to this, yes. Let's see. Originally reported by The Gamer, who reported on the story, reached out to Gamescom's organizers about the decision to scrap the award, and their response revealed that there were too few submissions for the category. Here's the brief statement in full. There were too few submissions for the Best Nintendo Switch category this year. The award committee therefore decided to cancel the category. To be eligible for an award at Gamescom, which kicks off, tomorrow, August 20th, your game needs to be present at the event. Plus, you also need to submit your game forward for an award. And depending on how many, there's a submission fee.
Gotcha.
Because Nintendo has already confirmed it won't be at the show, the above response was expected. So Nintendo's not even at Gamescom.
That makes sense.
However, that doesn't mean there are no Switch games at Gamescom. Little Nightmares 3 and Civilization 7 have been confirmed to make an appearance, and there will probably be other little surprises on the show floor. Mix of Nintendo's absence, developers prioritizing other awards, and perhaps a lack of big Switch titles in 2024 mean that the award will be scrapped this year. Well, there's always next year.
Nintendo's not hurting, I think.
I would send one guy with Zelda on a Switch. You like hold it up like a boombox, like Zelda. And there you go. You'll win Zelda. Zelda wins game of the show.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Last up on the headlines, and this is a headline that came out today, and also I had to scrap a previous headline. Final Fantasy 16, the PlayStation exclusive, is coming to PC. Ty says Xbox might as well drop Towerborn on PlayStation, seeing as it's co-op. Just let everyone play. Game Pass, Xbox, PC, PlayStation. If you're going to port big titles, might as well port small ones. Yeah, can't argue it. What can you say? But anyway, so Final Fantasy 16 will be losing its PlayStation exclusivity, but it's going to be going to PC via Steam and Epic Game Store on September 17th, and a demo is now live on both platforms. Now, originally there was a lot of rumors about an Xbox release. Does not include an Xbox release. Ty and I talked about it yesterday. The director of the game was asked by Windows Central about an Xbox version, and basically did the generic, I'd love to see it happen, but I have nothing to announce at this time. And I think that's really kind of a weird swing and a miss on Xbox's part, where it's like...
I wonder if it's their fault, though. You know what I mean? This is Square, this is...
Well, if you remember, we've talked about it here within the past year. Square is saying that they're ending their exclusivity stuff. They're not doing anymore. It's not beneficial for them at all.
Yeah.
Like, they've said, like, we had Phil Spencer stand on stage with the creators of Final Fantasy 16.
I wonder if, because this game came out before they came out with that announcement, I wonder if there's some, like, contractual thing that keeps this...
The exclusivity ended. That's why it's coming to PC.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's like, the exclusivity is ending. The game came out last July, so now they've announced it to come out in September for PC. And my thought process is just like, man, like, you couldn't get Xbox on the logo for the PC trailer. Like, if you're Phil Spencer, if you're Xbox, it's just like, again, like, this is what I mean when I say, like, there's a loss of edge, of competitive edge. If I'm Phil Spencer, right, and I'm, like, desperately trying to get people to realize that Xbox is a brand, is a competitor in this sphere still, I'm getting my fucking brand on that trailer. Like, you don't even need a release date. Just be like, we're announcing it for Xbox and PC. PC coming September 17th. Xbox release date. We'll announce that later down the line when we're ready. Like, I'm not asking for anything. This game's been out for a year. I'm asking for a confirmation. And they can't even get a confirmation on it the same week you're about to announce that Indiana Jones is going to PlayStation. It's just like, it's a bad look. It's a continuing... Ty says Sony still likely has it on lockdown. I don't believe so. I think
that's what I would imagine.
Exclusivity would probably be up. It's probably a year exclusivity, and it's coming to PC. So like, I don't see the problem personally. I mean, maybe you're right.
Because other PlayStation titles go to PC when their exclusivity's up. They don't ever come to Xbox. You know what I mean? So that's what makes me think that maybe this is still a PlayStation game.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Well, at that point, maybe Xbox should stop playing nice and stop putting their fucking games on their competitor's platform, when their competitor is literally trying to fucking suffocate them out of the market. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about, though. What do I know? I'm not a shareholder. I'm not a corpo suit, except for that one time when Ty's going to send me a check. But okay. Yeah, that is the headlines for the week. So we're going to get into the game releases for the week. However, I'm making a slight change to how the show works. Really only in name. So I got in the mail while I was on vacation. You didn't check the mail. I got the last ever Game Informer.
Oh.
This is the final Game Informer that will ever be made. And it was delivered while I was on vacation because Deborah did not check the mail.
Yeah, I did not check the mail at all.
You would have been the first person to grab.
I was watching the pets while he was on vacation.
Yeah.
And no, I didn't check the mail
It's
at all.
Not a huge deal. But yeah, I got the last Game Informer. So
are we renaming?
So usually I just say this is the game releases for the week of August 19th. From this episode on, now it is time for the Game Informer Memorial game releases of the week for the week of August 19th.
Okay.
Because since this show started, 72 episodes of this show, Game Informer helped make the show happen. So, Game Informer is going to continue to be a part of the show, even if it is only in name and spirit. But anyways, this is the Game Informer Memorial game releases for the week of August 19th. Starting off today, Lurch comes out on PC. Black Myth Wukong comes out on PS5 and PC on August 20th. Tactical Breach Wizards comes out on PC tomorrow, August 20th. Enotria, The Last Song, comes out on PS5, PC, August 21st. Mika and the Witch's Mountain comes out on Switch and PC, August 21st. My Lovely Empress comes out on Xbox Series, Switch, and PC on August 21st. Office Fight comes to PC, August 21st. Elrin Taros Wanderlings comes out on PC, August 22nd. Rise Eternal War comes out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on August 22nd. Tales from Toy Toki, Arrival of the Witch, comes out on PS5 and Switch, August 22nd. Wild West Dynasty, PC, August 22nd. And Concord. Oh wow, Concord's coming out. PS5 and PC, August 23rd. Deborah, what is your pick for the week?
It would have been... I mean, I have two. I'm not going to count the other one out, but Black Myth Wukong looks great. Right now I have gameplay up for Tactical Breach Wizards. I think that's my game of the week. This game just looks fun. It's like XCOM with wizards and
okay.
And there's also Mika and the Witch's Mountain that looks very cutesy, very chill.
Yeah. Well, so for me, my pick of the week is going to be Rise Eternal War. I was looking at some gameplay of this, and it looks like a really cool kind of strategic tactical game where you then send like you build up your armies a little bit and your units, and you kind of send them out to battle, and they kind of like it's sort of like a side perspective. They're kind of like running at each other. It looks really cool.
I think for future ones.
What is this?
This is Mika and the Witch's Mountain.
This looks like This is Wind Waker.
Yeah, it looks like Wind Waker.
They made The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
Yeah, she has like a little broom where it's like she flies. It's kind of like Kiki's Delivery Service-esque.
Someone literally played The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. It was like, I'm gonna make that game.
Yeah.
This literally looks like a mod for the Wind Waker, which is like a compliment, I guess. Oh, you fly.
Yeah, you have like a little broom.
So do you?
It looks like a Delivery Service-esque game.
Is it basically Kiki's Delivery Service?
That's what it seems like.
Oh man.
What was that game where you like drove on a bike through like this deserty mountain? Like, I don't remember what it was called. But it was like there was no enemies. It was kind of like very ambient. It's killing me right now.
I don't know.
But it just has this kind of vibes where it's like you're not fighting enemies. There's no danger.
This
you're
game
just
might like it's
and it looks great.
It's your pick of the week, you said, right?
I'm gonna go with Tactical Breach Wizards.
Okay. I mean, I already named the game, but like I think this might actually be my pick of the week. This looks very good. This looks like Wind Waker, Kiki's Delivery Service. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Look at the pup.
Mm-hmm.
Look, pup. Can you hug the pup? Can you pet the pup?
You can press E to heart the pup.
What does it do?
It's doing it.
Oh,
it's rolling over.
That's a little disappointing. I'm gonna stick with my original pick. This game looks really good. This looks really good. Concord's gonna bomb. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say it. I mean, it's not gonna be. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna happen. But okay. So what are you playing right now?
How fast do you think they're gonna switch to free to play?
I give it. You know how like it's gonna be at like the Game Awards. It's free to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be by the Game Awards.
It would have a chance if it was free to play.
Mm-hmm.
Asking for a premium price on that is mind-boggling, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is also like it might not go free to play because, like, I think they said all expansions were gonna be free, right? I think they said that. We're like, you're just paying,
you can't go backwards
the
on
base
that
price, and then that's it.
Yeah, you can't go backwards on that.
Yeah, you can't just be like, okay, well now all the future updates are gonna be
paid for it. Oh, that's rough.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's gonna have a battle pass. I guess you can do that, but like even that, I don't know. It's bad. It's not good. Anyways, what are you playing right now?
I am still playing Pikmin, loving it. I'm kind of slow on it, but you are still playing Octopath Traveler.
So right now I'm kind of double dipping right now because I was on vacation, so I was away from my Xbox this past week, up until like Thursday. And while I was away, I was knocking some games off the backlog for my NSO. But what I'm currently halfway through is Super Mario Wonder on my Switch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's, in my opinion, and I'm only like halfway through it, it's the best 2D Mario game ever made.
That's what I've been hearing.
So I gotta give it to them. Like, I really like it, really love it. It's challenging though at some points. It's still really good. But I am still playing Octopath Traveler 1 on my Xbox since I've gotten home from vacation. I've hit a point where I have passed the playtime on my original save file, but I'm only like 3/4 of the way through the main game.
Okay.
That's, again, it's because there's just so much
Yeah,
stuff.
you're
also like
you're completing it, so
I'm like way stronger
I would
than
imagine
I was at the like same hours.
Yeah.
But, like it's night and day. Like how much
stronger.
How
Yeah.
much stronger I am. So I'm really enjoying both of those games right now. My goal is to finish both by the end of this month, which I have like 10 days because Star Wars comes out on the 30th, and I want to dive right into Star Wars.
Okay.
So that's the goal. The goal is that like this week coming up, if I'm not doing podcasting, I'm going to be trying to knock those games out. So that's kind of the goal right now.
Okay.
So now hopefully, next week I'm sitting here and I'm talking about
Yeah, when I was here, I was playing Halo
that.
Infinite.
I saw that
Yeah.
on my Xbox.
So I might jump back onto that on my laptop.
Yeah. But anyways, this has been another episode of the Game Room Podcast. Thank you so much for watching, for hanging out with us. What do you think about all the stuff we talked about today? How do you feel Indiana Jones going to PlayStation and Borderlands flopping and Microsoft maybe bringing back Deadpool just too late, but still trying anyway? Let us know what you think. If you're not hanging out with us live, comment, let us know. Please join our Discord, which you can find in the description down below. In the Discord, we have a lot of fun discussions about video games. Keep the fun going there. Make sure you come and hang out with us. But until next time, see you guys later.
See ya.
Bye, Ty.